Hi, my name is Mark, and this is my story. I'm 25 years old, and I'm going to share my story about living in foster care, living in the system. I was placed in the foster care system at age 3, and obviously I don't remember that, being that I was only 3 years old. The first family that I do remember, it was a female, her husband, I won't call them a mom and dad, it was a female, and her husband, and they had two children, a son and daughter. At that time, I was living with my stepbrothers. They were also placed in that house. I didn't really have a solid idea of the fact that I was in foster care, so to speak. I knew that I had a person that I would meet with every week or every 2 weeks, something like that. And I was living with my brothers, and over time, I guess I kind of learned that I was in foster, or that, that these weren't my real parents. The first family kind of, I don't know why I'm having such a hard time trying to tell my story about living in foster care. I think probably it's because I don't want to remember, or the fact that, half of this stuff is just, it's kind of disappearing. I mean, there's so many blank spots in my story of different time frames where it just doesn't make sense. I know certain spots, and then there's a blank, and then I know other spots, but they don't all really collaborate together. And I've tried writing a story. And the reason why I'm sharing my story is not to gain sympathy. I don't need your sympathy. I don't need, oh, you were in foster care. I don't need that. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking to, try to be a voice for those that are in, kind of show the reality of what happens, just share the story. And I'm not saying that all families are bad. I'm not saying that adoption is bad. There are some instances where parents are just not capable of taking care of their kids. I understand that. But there also needs to be a better placement system. There needs to be more training for the foster parents. Not how to just deal with the child, but how to raise a child. There should also be training classes for the children, or the youth that are in foster care. They should be trained on how to deal with moving from place to place, how to deal from moving to school to school. You can't just place a kid on antidepressants just because they're not interacting with other people as normal kids would. Obviously they're not going to interact with other people as normal kids would, because they're not with their real parents. They're not with people they know and trust that they will love them back. They're treated different. Not in all cases, but in most cases they're treated different. Obviously, if you have a kid that's not yours, that you're not biologically yours, that you are taking in for whatever reason, maybe you're doing it out of the goodness of your heart, maybe you're just doing it for a paycheck, but they won't really abandon them. They won't say, go live on the street. Difference with foster care is that when a child misbehaves and it becomes too much for the parent that's allowing this child to live in their house, it's just so simple to just pick up the phone and call the social worker and tell them that it's not going to work out and they need to go somewhere else. That happened to me a couple cases. I always thought that I had to test whoever I was with to find out if they truly love me. If I did something, would they call up the social worker and kick me out, or would they prove that they love me by not calling and working it out. Out of all the foster families I've been with, there's only been one that did not call, and if I have the guts to get to that part, I will share a little bit later of why that family didn't work out, even though they they never tried to have me removed, even though I messed up a lot of times. But yeah, that's how I responded, and I guess I still kind of do that. I'm trying to learn a little bit better. Obviously, there's a whole lot of updates from when I was younger, and I kind of want to categorize that. I don't want to jump to the future of where I am now without explaining the situations in the past. But